Oh, well, thank you guys so much. What a joy. Pro-life. Amen. I like your shirt. What a joy to be here in Silver Springs, Maryland, and what a joy to have so many people that are here in support. I see the t-shirts everywhere. You can't miss them. From a 3 or 4 block radius, I'm sure you guys are seen through buildings, for crying out loud. And for all of our residents involved in commerce, don't stop spending money. Just hear the message on the way. If there's one thing we certainly stand for in the state of Maryland, it's economic prosperity for every single Maryland constituent in our state. We are happy, though, and we're here as a team united to achieve the dream for one purpose and one purpose only, and that is to let the wonderful citizens here in Silver Springs, Maryland, across this wonderful Montgomery County know that you will have an option to choose for freedom in the state of Maryland come the election in June as well as in November 2014. You will have an option and an opportunity to choose someone and a team that is just as much concerned about your freedoms, about your prosperity, and about the state of Maryland as you are. And we're going to ask you to partnership with us over the next 9 to 12 to 14 months to do just that, to show the people in the state of Maryland that we can go in a different direction and that we have other opportunities. We can absolutely do better. We've come here in Veterans Place, which actually, ironically, is a good place for me to be, being a veteran myself, to declare, oh, you're absolutely welcome, to declare to every citizen in Montgomery County, as we continue to cross this great state, that we intend to seek the nomination for governor here in the state of Maryland, to be the chief executive officer here in the state of Maryland for many, many reasons. And at least some of those reasons we want to capture today in conversation as you walk by and as you sit here and as we are able to be honored by our local media here in the area in the state. Because I get asked all the time, why in the world would you want to run for governor? Why in the world would you want to put you and your family, your 4 daughters, your wife, your grandson through this grueling process? Knowing you're going to be talked about, most of you know it's not easy to be conservative and hold my skin color, for crying out loud. But why would I, or anyone for that reason, want to run for this office, to be the governor here in the state of Maryland? And my answer is simple. I've served in the United States Marine Corps for now 16 years. I've been in business for 17, as an executive for 9 with Cintas Corporation. If there's one thing I understand and know, is the importance for someone to stand up and fight for liberties and freedoms across our country and our state. Now, I raised my right hand 16 years ago, and I made a decision that I would defend this country and the freedoms of this country against all enemies, foreign and domestic. I've done so in Kosovo back in '99. I've done so in Operation Enduring Freedom while over in Saudi Arabia. I intend to do the same thing here in the state of Maryland. But let me be clear. The enemy is not political parties. The enemy is not genders, nor is the enemy skin color. The enemy is any policy, any activity, anything stated or legislated that takes freedom away from you, me, our children, and our grandchildren. That's where the enemy is. And I, for one, want to make sure that I'm clear. So I'm not miscommunicated, and I'm not misinterpreted. This is not an election about who is Republican and who is Democrat. At some point, we have to grow beyond that. This is not an election about who's black and who's white. At some point, we have to grow beyond that. This is not even an election about who's poor and who's wealthy. We have to grow beyond that. If there's one thing I'm tired of, is gender, politics, race being used as a political football to keep people separated from the freedoms and the dreams that we call the United States of America and our state of Maryland. And I, for one, I intend not just to throw more rhetoric out there. I think the people of Maryland are tired of that. I intend to stand for what is right constitutionally. I intend to stand for what is right for the state of Maryland. and I intend to stand for what is right for every citizen in our state. I've told some, and I'll tell others, and anyone that will listen. If I am humbled with the opportunity to serve you as your chief executive officer and or governor, I am not running to be your priest. I'm running to be your governor. And there's a very real difference between those two things. As your governor, I am responsible to make sure I secure your economic freedoms, that every dollar and cent that you send to Annapolis is spent correctly, but better than that. Not only does it need to be spent correctly, but whatever's left over needs to be sent back to you, the taxpayer, because it's your money, and you demand better. We're standing now because we believe in your freedoms and not those of a government that intends to take more of it away. We're standing now because we believe that people, honestly, they're tired of the Republican-Democrat stuff back and forth. I'm tired of blaming parties. Let's look where it's gotten us. We're one of the worst states economically in the country. Unemployment at 7.5%, and every time I hear somebody say that we've recaptured or recouped 99% of our jobs, and I look at the percentages from the Department of Labor for the state of Maryland, unemployment in 2008 was 3.6%. Unemployment today, 2013, is 7.5%. We are double the rate worse than we were in 2008. How can anyone say, regardless of their position or their party, that we've captured 99% of our jobs we lost? And then wrap it up in a paper and call it a particular party and then blame other parties if they disagree with it. No, we're going to run a campaign on integrity, on honor, and on truth. And we're going to hold every single person in this election accountable to the same thing. I'm excited, ladies and gentlemen, because we have a chance to make the right kind of history. And I'm not talking about the kind of history that politicians tend to like to highlight in order for them to get more votes. I'm talking about the kind of greatness that can only be seen, touched, and felt by citizens that are part of our state that we call Maryland. What type of history are you talking about, Charles? I'm so glad you asked. I'm talking about going from the worst state in business to one of the strongest states in business and economic freedoms. I'm talking about going from one of the worst states in excess taxes to some of the best states in excess taxes anywhere in the country. That's the kind of history I'm talking about. I'm talking about the kind of history where Republicans, Democrats, Independents, Libertarians come together on 80% of the issues that we agree upon when it comes to securing our liberties and our freedoms in this state. That's the kind of history I'm talking about making. To actually have a conversation in this state, and hopefully it'll go across the country, where people can talk to each other. Kitchen table conversations about employment, about prosperity for our kids and our grandkids, about health care for all those who choose to have it. And have that kind of conversation without ever asking the question of are you Republican or are you Democrat? You know, I remember growing up in a church, a local church in Georgia. And I remember a pastor would talk often in church about the idea of people coming to church and not necessarily knowing who the pastor is, but knowing who the Lord is before they left the church. Now, I already know that all Marylanders might not be church-going people, but wouldn't it be nice if we could have a conversation about the issues of Maryland and talk about the truth of Maryland without bringing up partisan politics? I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, we have more in common here in Montgomery County and across this state than what separates us. We all believe in freedom. This Achieve the Dream Tour is all about achieving the dreams for all Marylanders. We believe that the dreams outlined constitutionally by our founding fathers and the dreams so eloquently discussed on the halls of D.C. by Dr. King almost 50 years ago, that those dreams are one and the same. That there is a dream that every single person, regardless of skin color, that they can judged by their character's content and not how they look on the outside. That they believe that we can talk to each other and seek the goodness in each other. And that as a people, and a self-governing people, we can build the greatest country on God's green earth if you just let us work, give us our freedoms, and leave us alone. Now, I'm not going to tell you or stand here and make you believe that everything about our nation is perfect. I would be lying if I told you that. But I believe in projecting a positive image of tomorrow, painting a vision of what we can be, striving to see what we've come over and come through. So instead of always looking backwards, why can't we look forward? Why can't we as Republicans and Democrats actually join hands? I think Dr. King said that his little children and children that might be white or any other color could grab hands and sing together. Free at last. Free at last. Well, I look forward to the day when Republicans can grab hands with Democrats. And Democrats, am I getting in trouble, can grab hands with independents. Whether you're from Montgomery County, Prince George's County, or Wicomico County. And we can say together, oh, we're free at last. We are free at last. And thank God Almighty, we are free at last. That day is coming. But I need your help to get there. I'm not going to play partisan politics. I'm not going to play the gender thing. For crying out loud, I'm not going to play the race thing. I'm going to share with you a story that happened to me yesterday, which helps you to further understand why I'm running. Because for me, it's more than just economic prosperity. It's more than just social justice and social freedom. It's about a mindset and a direction where our state is going, where we can recapture votes. We can do great things and turn a corner, and we can build that bridge together. A good example of that, for example, when you start talking about the encroachments of freedoms, I have to say this before the story. It's what's happening right here in our county and in Prince George's County with the entire energy issue. Since when can a community, free citizens, be subject to a regulated energy company with whims of increased dollars and cents on your bill without necessary, not even asking, but an appeal or a vote? And I'm talking about what's going on with Petco. How can you be asked to pay 6 cents more? Even in Gwinnett, the Gwinnett Gazette is talking about this. That the 6 cents from Montgomery and Prince George's County that's being levied as a tax on taxpayers. It ought to be an issue for this election. In this 6 cents they're charging you, they're charging us. It's not even a 6 cents for what's going on now. It's estimated fees they believe they're going to incur to make their company better for you, the customer. And I hate to say this, but I can hardly find citizens of Montgomery County and Prince George's County that are enthused or even happy with the current things they're getting from Petco. A lot of us don't know when we come from other parts of the state just how bad this monopoly's become. And the things the Public Service Commission is doing. These are attacks on our freedom. So I'm walking through a fair. That's why I'm running. I'm walking through a fair yesterday. I'm not a fair, a parade. And as I go through this parade, Candace, I reach my hand out to shake a lady's hand. Now you all know I don't play hyphenated American stuff. I believe either you're all Americans or you're not. At some point, that's the dream we have to achieve. If you still in 2013 have to identify yourself as an Irish American, something's wrong with what we're doing here in our country. So I'm walking, I stuck my hand out, I said, ma'am, and I just happened, just for the purposes of the story, this lady and I didn't even share the same skin color. I said, ma'am, I want to wish you a happy Labor Day. As I'm walking through a parade, she took a step back, refused to extend her hand, and she said, you're a Republican? I said, yes, ma'am, I am. Of course, I believe in our state and our people, but yes, ma'am, I am. I just want to wish her a happy Labor Day. Refused to shake my hand. The next words out of her mouth, Melvin, were for you. She said, I know Dr. King had a dream, but you're not it. I just looked looked right at her and stuck my hand up and said, ma'am, I hope you have a wonderful Labor Day, and kept on going. That's why I'm running. Based upon my philosophical views and values of American dream. It doesn't matter what party you choose as long as you believe in our state. But that I could be treated like that because I have a Republican after my name. Every one of you standing around here with these shirts on, and many more that will put them on, you're going to have to endure the same types of things. Because not enough people can see the dream you want to achieve. But if we talk it through, if we speak specifically about what that dream means, if we're honest and upfront with people, and we don't play politics, and we rise above it, let me guarantee you something. We will win more people than we lose. We don't have to preach at people. We don't have to talk down at people. Just tell them the current condition of the state of Maryland, and they will jump on bandwagons for you. Now, on their way, they may ask you, what party are you again? The right answer. I'm part of the Maryland Party first. I'm part of the citizens of this country second. And I just happen to be a Republican or Democrat. But regardless of my party affiliation, I choose to join a team to achieve a dream. On behalf of my wife and I, wave your hand, Rosie. That's the lady that I have spent the last 23 years of my life with. We want to thank those here in Silver Springs and across Montgomery County and every county in the state for this opportunity to run to be your governor. I've made you some guarantees. Hold me accountable to them. I will do the best job I can to represent you. Because as I've said before, and I'll say it again, when I'm honored to serve, I'm not the governor of the Republicans. I'm not the governor of the Democrats. I'm not the governor of blacks. I'm not the governor of whites. I'm not the governor of Hispanics. I'm the governor of the state of Maryland, and that includes every citizen in the state of Maryland. Thank you all for coming out. God bless you all. I look forward to seeing you all on the campus. I want to bring Jenny Merriman up. She's got a couple things she wants to go over with you, and I'll be here to answer any questions you have. Thank you all so much for coming.
Coming out and listening to Charles. He will be walking through the audience and taking questions, and chatting with him. I encourage you to chat with him. We want to remind you that we do have a money bomb that we are procuring for Charles. It is $62 for the 62nd governor of the state of Maryland, right there. September 5th, if you all could please let everyone you know on your email list, by telephone, whatever, to go to the website and pledge and donate the $62 for 62 right there. And also sign up for volunteering. Any help that you can give us, we need it, we appreciate it, and thank you very much. Have a great day.